I'm Coach Rod Nightingale, athletic conditioning coach at ILTexas Katy Westpark High School. The faculty and staff of International Leadership of Texas, Katy Westpark High School congratulates you on your academic achievement and wish to ensure the commencement ceremony will be a fitting conclusion to this phase of your education. The commencement ceremony is, by its very nature, a festive occasion. The festivity manifests itself in many ways, including the dress of the students, the faculty adorned in academic regalia, and the warmth, joy, satisfaction of accomplishment. The ceremony is also marked by dignity and seriousness, where the actual conferring of the diplomas signifies long, hard work on the part of everyone involved: students, faculty, administrators, parents, and families. As a consequence of the dignified nature of the ceremony, students, teachers, staff, families, and guests are expected to maintain a measure of decorum consistent with the occasion. As such, we would remind you that 1, signs, fireworks, bottles, beach balls, flowers, cans, drugs, and alcohol are not permitted. Noisemakers of any kind, including air horns, drums, and trumpets, are strictly prohibited. Cell phones, electronic devices, and watch alarms should be silenced and/or powered down. Conversations and talking are prohibited during the ceremony. Young children in need of attention or who are disruptive should be escorted out of the park immediately. Disruptive behavior of any kind, including shouting, yelling, or other demonstrations during the ceremony, are prohibited. Family and guests are expected to remain seated for the entire ceremony, refrain from leaving their seats in order to take pictures, not to talk to graduates, or leave prior to the conclusion of the ceremony. In order to maintain the dignity and seriousness of the ceremony, guests violating the statement of decorum will be asked to leave and will be escorted out by security immediately. The International Leadership of Texas wishes to continue the proud tradition of permitting each graduate to be acknowledged by the superintendent as his or her name is spoken. The last graduate is as important as the first. As a result, applause and other recognition of the conferring of diplomas are expected to be limited to a joint effort at the conclusion of the ceremony. Thank you. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, undivided, one individual. Our ILTexas student pledge. This is for myself. Encourage others. Now for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good evening. I am Teas Escudero. Welcome to the commencement. Welcome to the commencement ceremony of the International Leadership of Texas, Katy Westpark High School, class of 2020. This year marks our very first graduation and an opportunity to honor a group of individuals who became a family through a shared vision of a school dedicated to creating global leaders, fluent in 3 languages, confident in their character, and prepared to leave their mark on the world. Tonight, we celebrate our journey, we celebrate our victories, and we look ahead to the future before us, knowing that we are equipped to make a difference in our world.
晚上好，我是 Bryce Wagner，欢迎大家前来参加2020届的国际领水学校 Katy Westpark 高中的毕业典礼。今年我们迎来了我们高中的一届的毕业生，这一年已保持了一群认真做事的个体，凝聚成一个的家庭，并且共同致力方向与一个行为目标。这个目标就是培养出可以流利运用3种语言、自信而品格优秀，准备在世界舞台有影响力的国际领导。今晚我们庆祝我们的路程，我们的胜利一直展望我们的未来，因为我们想要改变世界。Bienvenidos a la ceremonia de graduación de la Escuela Preparatoria International Leadership of Texas de Katy Westpark, clase del 2020. Este año celebramos nuestra primera graduación y honramos a un grupo de individuos que se convirtieron en una familia compartiendo la visión de una escuela dedicada a crear líderes globales, fluidos en 3 idiomas con autoconfianza y preparados para dejar su huella en el mundo. Esta noche celebramos nuestro viaje, celebramos nuestras victorias y miramos hacia el futuro que tenemos por delante, sabiendo que estamos equipados para marcar una diferencia en nuestro mundo.
There have been many with us on our journey, and tonight we would like to recognize a few. Superintendent Eddie Conger, Chief Academic Officer Laura Carrasco, Deputy Superintendent of Schools Dr. Thomas Seabury, Houston Area Superintendent Matilda Orozco, Principal Mark Hemphill, Associate Principal Jana Schaefer, Assistant Principal Edgardo Figueroa, Senior Grade Level Administrator Rachel Matthews, Valedictorian Carmen K. Harrison, Salutatorian Lena Alcayali, Senior Student Michael Garcia, Senior Student Abdurrahman Olalere. We would also like to recognize some special guests who have assisted us along the way that are seated in the audience. Our counselors, Miss Jennifer Cavender and Miss Gaudi Hernandez Clark. Our college counselor, Mr. Lee Canales. Our grade level administrators, Miss Cynthia Dees, Miss Monica Yang, and Mr. Ralph Arline. Thank you to all the staff of International Leadership of Texas. If you work at ILTexas headquarters or at an ILTexas campus, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. And finally, we would not be where we are or who we are today without the support of our parents and families. Seniors, please stand, turn to your families, and give them a round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. For all that have joined us here today in celebration, we thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael Garcia, part of the 2020 graduating class here at ILTexas, where I have attended for the last 2 years. I am originally from Corpus Christi, and I have lived in Houston for the last 7 years. Today, I was given this opportunity to give my speech and a few motivational words to the graduating class. First, I would like to start off by telling you a quote by Vincent van Gogh. It reads, "Great things are done by small things coming together." I can relate to this quote because my parents have always told me that if I do little things in and around the house and in the community, I can make a big difference in the heart of others. I began to help at school and in the community and saw how people were appreciative and joyful, and that made me feel joy. My first few days at ILTexas, I thought to myself that I was not going to be able to fit in or make any friends. As I started to learn about the school and see how it worked, I actually made a lot of friends, and now many I consider family. In my first year here at ILTexas, I was inducted into National Honor Society. I was elected as vice president for the 11th grade Others Before Self project. Here, I was able to help get people and students into groups and work together to help clean up the beach at Galveston. I was also able to play in the boys' varsity soccer team. Here, I was able to learn valuable leadership skills, which helped me to adapt to different challenges and overcome them. Another thing that I enjoyed about ILTexas was that there was many different cultures to interact with. This helped me to learn skills like learning new languages such as Chinese and Spanish. Throughout my 4 years of high school, I have had many ups and downs. such as starting off as a freshman and not knowing what to do, to becoming a high school graduate and taking on the world in the future. With the help of my friends, parents, and staff, I was able to have the greatest moment of my life, being with the graduating class of 2020. When we thought that everything was going to go downhill because of COVID-19, we found courage to not give up on our dreams. And we were able to stand here today and say that we did it. I would like to thank my parents who have helped me in trying to become a person who is very helpful and caring to others. Also, I would like to thank my friends who have been by my side from the first day I walked into this school. I would like to wish everybody the best to come on your upcoming journeys, challenges, and endeavors. To all my friends, I wish you amazing success. Thank you.
2 years here, gone so fast. I feel like it was only yesterday that I got dress coded through those side doors into the cafeteria. Despite it being my first day, then 2 years of missing pencils, gym uniforms, annoying tests, and invigorating group projects. Within weeks of being here, I can say I was quickly grabbed by the atmosphere. I might not have noticed at the time, but from the first classes I took with the teachers and my new fellow classmates, I can tell you that the atmosphere of community and solidarity that brings so many of us together with all our differences. Sure, we're a small school, but for the relatively smaller amount of time that I've been here, I can say that we might have been small, but our impact was far more wide-reaching than many other schools. When I say our impact, I don't just mean the steps we took towards saving our planet with our OBS projects, but also how we directly helped our community in small but impactful steps, like raising money for the homeless with many organizations in Texas. When I compare my time here to the time at my previous school, I've never felt more included and more in charge of my education. Because of this school's small community and growing cultural identity, many of us have far more access to important character growing opportunities than some of us might have previously had. Personally, from my own experience from another school, I would have probably never made an effort to join so many different groups after school or in school. It would have been outside my comfort zone, but here it becomes easier when you know and interact with more people. Of course, there were many lessons and missed opportunities, like NHS applications being rejected due to procrastination and secret prank meetings. I also learned that doing things for the sake of doing them is important, and don't take on undertakings that you might find fun but won't ever have the time to do. During junior year, I think we can all agree that we made some collective memories as our first year being upperclassmen. Driving, college visits, learning to hate or love the SAT or ACT. Overall, it felt like it was going to last forever. Then senior year came along, and we all started applying to college. It became real when acceptance letters came in and many of us started to commit to college. Thankfully, the value of this community stretches out wider than just this classroom setting. It also creates value by ensuring growth and creating long-lasting relationships. I might not be able to see many of us every day for a very long time, but I hope the time together here has made a strong impression which can last and stand up to the test of time. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Eddie Conger, our founder and superintendent.
Ni Min Hao, Buenos tardes, howdy, and congratulations to the incredible inaugural ILTexas Katy Westpark class of 2020. This day has been a long day coming. Yes, please clap for that. Congratulations to you and to your parents. For those students who came to us kicking and screaming in 2017, I thank you and I thank your parents for sticking with us in starting something new and incredible. To all of you in the class of 2020, you have truly exemplified leadership traits such as grit, perseverance, endurance, traits that I can assure you will make the difference in your success. COVID-19 has thrown us a curveball to all of us. It is a pandemic unlike anything that has ever been seen since the Spanish flu in 1918. But just like then, all of us will exercise grit, perseverance, and endurance, and we will get through this. But in between those 100 years since 1918, there's been many other challenges that we have all gotten through that have impacted other graduating classes well before this one. The kids that were graduating during the Great Depression, the kids that were graduating during World War II, with many seniors shipping out for war and many of them never coming home. Those that did return were called the greatest generation. You as a class have had to give up many things as well. Senior dances like a prom, but you don't really want a prom because someone's going to take a picture of you dancing, and if your skills were as bad as mine, it would have been wild. So on your reunion, we'll be able to have a dance. Other things you've given up is a graduation ceremony that would have been on time, and a graduation ceremony that is without all of the COVID-19. So you too have persevered. I can't stress how important the concept of grit and perseverance and endurance are in life. There's a saying in the United States Marine Corps: the cowards never started, and the weak died along the way. And I'm challenging you, don't be a coward. Don't let fear stop you from starting that journey. Don't let fear of failure stop you from that journey. Because I can promise you, you will fail. And that is an important lesson, because there will always be things to learn from failing. But don't stop there. Never give up. Get back up and keep trying and keep working hard at it. This applies to you as you're going off to college. Don't give up. Don't let things stop you from going. This applies to you as you're dealing with college courses that are online. This applies to you in completing your degree. And just as importantly, this applies to you in getting that first job and that first promotion. And listen to me. This applies to you in your marriage. I am so thankful after 39 years, my wife has never given up on me. Never, ever quit. To all of the above. As you are successful in your career, please never forget our motto, others before self. Along the way, lend an ear to listen and to hear and to understand others. Lend a hand and help others along the way, because we are all in this together. And together, when we are truly together, there's nothing that can defeat us. The phrase e pluribus unum, which was the motto of the United States in 1776, which is Latin for one out of many. And it declared to the world that together we had the strength to defeat the world's most powerful country, Great Britain, and to create a unique constitution that starts with we the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Notice we, and notice a more perfect union. Us, together, working together to constantly improve and to continue to refine this great union into a better union. There are issues that are yet still unresolved in our journey, and in our journey to create that more perfect union. All of us have a responsibility, but each of you, as the class of 2020, you have that responsibility. And I am confident that as you put others before self, and that if you never, ever give up, I am confident that you will change the world. May God bless you and keep you. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Unfortunately, Mr. Mark Hemphill could not be here with us today. We would like to thank him, and we are truly grateful for his support, optimism, and efforts to make today possible for each of us. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our incoming principal, Dr. Laura Villaflore, the new principal of International Leadership of Texas, Katy Westpark High School.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here tonight. The class of 2020 is first class. Correction, the first class. The power of a definite article. Perhaps you are both. You arrived at Katy Westpark High School with Hurricane Harvey right behind you, and you leave us now in the wake of a pandemic. When it's about homecoming time, there will probably be locusts. This is the first time we have all been together since what, March 6th? Who could have imagined that this would be the last day at high school? There's a lesson there, I guess. Cherish every moment. Make the most of your time together. Make sure your folks know how much you appreciate them. All of you share something unique. Something that we will never see among a graduating class. None of you began high school at ILTexas Katy Westpark. You all began high school somewhere else. But for any number of reasons, when we opened our doors in 2017, you chose us. In choosing us, you accepted a challenge. We challenge you to help to make us a school. and that you did. As a class, you have set a standard of academic excellence, shown respect for other cultures, and a love of languages. You established dominance in athletics. You've demonstrated leadership, a passion for the arts, and built successful career and technology programs. What can I say but thank you for all that you have done? In the last 2 months, this country has experienced a great social upheaval. For better or for worse, you leave high school into a place quite different than when you started. So go. Go be a servant leader. Put others before self. Serve others. Respect others. Encourage others. Katy Westpark High School class of 2020, go change the world. It is now my honor to introduce the class of 2020 Salutatorian of International Leadership of Texas, Katy Westpark High School, Lena Akiali.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to start off by saying welcome and congratulations to the first graduating class of Katy Westpark High School, the class of 2020. I would like to thank the faculty and families for being here. I can honestly say that so many of you here have helped many of our graduates, as well as myself, get to where we are now. From extra credit to college advice, every act of kindness didn't go unnoticed. I would also like to thank you to my family and friends for the constant encouragement and support. I really couldn't have done it without you. I can't even begin to express how proud I am of all the graduates, and I am honored to be able to stand before you as salutatorian during your final moments of high school. In the process of writing this speech, I really struggled with what I wanted to highlight about our high school experience. We really have been through a lot. Going on field trips that solidified friendships, international festivals sharing the beauty of cultures around the world, sports games that ignited our school spirit, and volunteering for our community, KWHS allowed us to become leaders outside of the classroom. Despite the constant challenges and setbacks, the tears and all-nighters and all of the mess in between, we did it. As we take these steps towards our future, I would like to remind you all of the strength that we have gained from our past. Growing up in the aftermath of 9/11 has shown us that our differences in faith and ethnicity make us stronger. The current pandemic has brought to light the capacity we have for kindness and awareness, and most recently, the reignition of the Black Lives Matter movement has shown us the strength there is in unity. As a Palestinian American, I'm able to use my people's history as well as American history to learn from our lifetime struggles and mistakes to create a better future for the generations that follow. I urge you all to do the same. Whatever your background or story is, allow it to be your launchpad towards success in whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Look around. We are Gen Z, the generation of change, resilience, and strength. Our generation will be remembered for creating long-lasting change in the world. While there is so much hard work ahead, we should not forget all it took to get us here. Today, we stand before our friends and family and celebrate all we have accomplished. Let's next stand before the world and transform it. Thank you all.
It is my honor to now introduce to you the class of 2020 Valedictorian of International Leadership of Texas, Katy Westpark High School, Carmen K. Harrison.
Hello, everyone. I believe one of the hardest things I've ever been asked to do was to write this speech for you all today. How can you summarize the multiple seismic shifts of our lives in just a few minutes? How can you summarize the setbacks, the sacrifices, the triumphs, and the hopes of a senior class as the pioneers of a high school, the inspirations for the grades to come after us, the leaders of a new generation and a new world, and the students to create the social, environmental, and communal change that we have always wanted to see? How can you define us? How can you define all that we have gone through and all that we will go through? It's not a simple undertaking, but it's one that I'll attempt to complete for you all today. We were the class to rise out of construction dust and new hires parading around a campus without a history or a culture. We were the ones to create the clubs and our identities, to win state and show the other charter schools what we were worth. We created the festivals, the celebrations, the traditions, the legends, and the legacies that will be carried on by our school for years to come. We created the beloved games, life-changing clubs, class cultures, and senior expectations that teachers and students alike will always see. We were the words, the actions, the attitudes, and the aspirations that are Katy Westpark High School today. We were the pioneers, the guinea pigs, the mysteries, and the trailblazers. As much as we owe the staff and the school for the opportunities and paths they have given us, they owe us for what Katy Westpark High School has blossomed to become. We had to fight tooth and nail for everything that we wanted to see in that school. Taking on multiple positions, training and working at all hours of the day, sacrificing more time than anybody could have ever dreamed of. If we wanted to see something, we had to create it. We have all come from a history of struggle and sacrifice in one way or another. Whether it be teaching your immigrant parents the intricacies of English, or studying and working just to get by, this senior class has been founded on hard work, resilience, and the will to be better than the generations before us. Using our family, our blood, our dreams, and our gifts as fuel, we broke the cycle every single day as we woke up brave enough to work towards something better, something bigger, something that those around us could only dream of. I am the product of a blue-collar father and an immigrant mother. I am the granddaughter of a bricklayer and the daughter of a stay-at-home mom. I am a first-generation college student on my father's side, and I am a first generation to speak English on my mother's side. I am the American dream, and I am the Latino struggle. I am both sides of history, both pushed back by the social disparities that surround us today. I am a scholar, a valedictorian, a class president, and a student at the University of Pennsylvania for my blood, for my ancestors, and for the dreams that they could never achieve. I am their visions and their hopes. I am their legacy and the dreams of everything they hope for me to be. I have broken the mold, and I pray that if there is anything I do in life, it is to break the mold for thousands like me. I pray that looking around now, as the class of 2020, you realize your power. I hope you look in the faces of your mothers, your fathers, your predecessors, and I hope you see all that you could be. I hope you see the gifted, stellar human being who will break the cycle for them. I hope you see the entrepreneur, athlete, engineer, lawyer, nurse, writer, computer scientist, and artist that will finally break the mold. Your future could never be determined by your grades, your activities, or your high school experience. Your future will be based on how hard you are willing to work to break that cycle. Are you willing to give yourselves that future? Are you willing to change the hundreds of lives around you? Are you willing to be all that your ancestors ever dreamed of accomplishing? Are you willing to be that inspiration for the children and younger siblings that look up to you today? I remember sitting in a seminar with the president and CEO of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, Fidel Vargas, and he told a story I don't believe I'd ever be able to forget in my life. He grew up in the barrios of California, one of 7 siblings, with a stay-at-home mom and a father who was a mechanic, struggling to make ends meet every single day. He grew up trudging the streets of California without any money, without any resources, and without a school that could offer him a cent. Yet that never defined him. He rejected the system, he rejected the stigma, and he rejected the expectations placed upon him. As an underprivileged Mexican teenager, he toiled over his work and his jobs every single day so that he could break the systemic and cyclical limits placed upon him by his ethnicity, his neighborhood, his family, and his wealth. And it paid off. Receiving college acceptance letters from universities such as the University of San Diego, California State University, and Harvard University, his dilemma was now centered on the path he would take. He could choose to stay with his family, get a decent education, and live with the parents and siblings he loved so dearly. Or he could risk it all, move across the country, and have the life and opportunities that he always dreamed of. His younger sister, Juana, begged him not to go. She begged him to stay with her, with the friends that needed his support, with the father that needed him. But he knew what he had to do. He told her, "I am leaving for you, mijita. I am leaving for my father and for my grandfather. I am leaving to give you all that you could have ever dreamed of. I will come back, and you will have everything you have always wanted." And it was true. He graduated from Harvard University and Harvard Business School, becoming a mayor and a CEO, and he gave his Spanish-speaking, impoverished immigrant parents the lives that they always deserved. He broke the cycle. He broke the mold. And now, the Vargas bloodline will never be the same. You can choose the path that you want to see. You can choose the life you want to live and the cycle that you will break. We, as a senior class, came from nothing. We came into an empty building with bare walls and only a few staff members. We created the world that we wanted to see. We created the teams, the clubs, the events, and the people that we wanted to see. And our lives should be no different. We can create the opportunities, the goals, and the positions that we have always dreamed of having. There is nothing stopping us today. There is no race, creed, status, neighborhood, history, or education that can stop us. That's simply a myth created by those in power so that they can stay in power. You have already seen what we can do in this school, and I pray that you can see what you are able to do in your colleges, your jobs, your futures, and your dreams. I pray that you see yourself as the first Latino, the first African, the first Mormon, or the first Jew in your field or in your accomplishments. I hope that you carry your Black pride, Latino resilience, religious morals, and artistic dreams in all that you do. I hope that you carry your differences, your ancestors, your strengths, and your fights as you never stop working and you never stop dreaming. In the age of a life-changing pandemic, political division, and a systemic racial revolution, you must remember your power, and you must remember what you can do. If you can raise awareness online, come out and fight for what you believe in and create the groups and clubs that you have always wanted to see, then you can create the future that you deserve. You can create the future that your ancestors, your parents, and your blood deserve. In this new world that will emerge, you will be in charge if you are brave enough to do so. And you are brave enough. You are resilient enough, and you are strong enough. It's a testament in the way you get up every morning, in the way you never stop training and fighting, and the way you dare to keep going despite everything that is happening around you. You are brave enough to create the world that you want to see. And this year, this era, and this historical movement is the only true time to do so. Everything is unsure. Structures are dismantling, and the people are being heard. You will be heard. You will be recognized, and you will be in the position you have always dreamed of being in. You will be the first. First of what I couldn't tell you. But the Katy Westpark High School senior class has always been the first. The first graduating class, the first students to step on campus, the first ones to see the change that they wanted to create. Use your pride, use your struggles, use your history, and use your resilience. Be that first. Be the reason why the cycle is broken. Be the reason why this world will never be the same. You have it all inside of you. It defines you. It emanates from you. You have always changed the people around you, just as you have changed the very fabric of Katy Westpark High School. So why can't you change the system, change the stigma, and change the expectations placed upon you of who you are and what you will become? It's now or never. Your future, your life, and your legacy are crying out to you in this very moment. Tonight, I want you all to go home and ask yourselves one question. What will you be the first of? Thank you.
Mr. Conger, I do hereby certify that the candidates gathered here have completed the coursework required by the state of Texas and the International Leadership of Texas Schools and have earned the right to graduate.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I accept the certification and I declare that each of these candidates be presented with their high school diploma.
Will the graduates please stand? Wait. Abdullah Kamordin Abidugan. When y'all come here, y'all go around. Amin Abduzak Aiden. Wait. Abdus Salam Akani Adesina. I got you. Wait, right. Lena Akiali. Chindu Nathan Amusi. Kwaku K. Ansang. Waliulahe Olawalamalea I. Diana Abigail Ariaga. Damilola Sharafat Bada. Daniela Aurora Barcelo. Jenna Rebecca Brown. Angela Lua Jam Debo Ogunjimi. Shanasa Victoria Debazu. Aristotle Chakwumika Dimson. Samantha Majafia Dua. Teas Galilea Azra. Kimberly Naomi Espinal. David Jr. Idiosagi Barrow. Jessica Jewel Falco. Ricardo Isaac Flores. Michael Anthony Garcia. Christopher Gonzalez Martinez. Kelly Nancy Guadarrama. Blakely Parker Haynes. Zara Azim Amdani. I got you, Carmen K. Carmen K. Harrison Montoya. Alejandro Alberto Heredia. Aribola Oluwapalumi Edewu. Roberto Juarez. Abimbola Miriam Leifa. Diamond Monet Lee. Santiago Leon. Margarita Lopez. Thank you. Gabriel Alejandro Mancia. Diane Araceli Molina Acosta. Natalia de Fatima Munoz. Savannah Hope Negar. Bercy Eo Negash. Abdurrahman Olalekin Olelea. Alexandra Angelica Ortiz. Jeanette Osorio. Chloe Chanel Destiny Perez. Cynthia Giselle Rivas. Edwin Giovanni Rodriguez. Micaela Abigail Saeed. Brandon Alexander Solis. Cassian J. Taylor. Aylin Villalobos. Got you, Bryce. Bryce Robert Wagner. Caleb Anthony Yates.
Graduates, please stand. At this time, you may move your tassel from the right side to the left.
Fellow graduates, please join us in the ILTexas pledge. I pledge to be a servant leader and put others before myself. I will serve others, respect others, and encourage others. When I graduate from ILTexas, I will be a healthy person with a strong mind and character who speaks at least 3 languages. I will change the world.
Students, please turn around and face your families. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce the Katy Westpark High School class of 2020. Graduates, you may be seated. Parents, please remain seated during the recessional. At the conclusion of the recessional, you will be dismissed by section and your graduate will be released to you. Thank you and good night, but please wait for the recessional.
Families, at this time, we'll be dismissing you by section. As you exit, please continue to wear your mask and maintain social distancing. Exit directly towards the exit and go directly into your car. We ask that you not congregate outside your car or in the parking lot. Your graduate will be released and meet you inside your car. At this time, Section 10, you may dismiss.